Welcome to DEMOCREPUBLIX, where we cover the real news that matter to we the people. She's toast. Latest report by David Steinberg describes Ilhan Omar 8 instances of perjury. Could face 40 years in prison or deportation. The Gateway Pundit reports that, according to Steinberg, there's credible evidence that Ilhan Omar and her family changed their name to legally enter the United States back in 1995. And since that time, Ilhan Omar, as an adult, continued to defy U.S. law. According to Steinberg, Rep. Omar committed at least 8 instances of perjury going back to 2009. The charges could carry up to 40 years of prison time or deportation. Obviously, Ilhan Omar has no regard to U.S. laws, and yet she is representing Minnesota in the U.S. Congress and a sitting member of the Foreign Affairs Committee. David Steinberg reported today on Ilhan Omar's criminal activity. She obviously had no problem with lying on federal documents. David Steinberg concludes his report with this list of possible crimes committed by Ilhan Omar. Consider the disturbingly inadequate evidence used to obtain FISA warrants on members of Donald Trump's 2016 presidential campaign. Consider that Democratic representatives have demanded that Attorney General William Barr release grand jury testimony, itself an illegal act. Yet, here we have verifiable UK and US marriage records, verifiable address records, time-stamped, traceable, achieved online convictions and settlements based upon social media evidence are commonplace, Anthony Weiner being a notable example, background checks, confirmations of social security numbers and birth dates, archived court documents signed under penalty of perjury, photos which can be examined to rule out digital manipulation, the 2019 Minnesota Campaign Finance and Public Disclosure Board investigation, which found Omar filed illegal joint tax returns with a man who was not her husband in at least 2014 and 2015, 3 years of evidence published across many articles, none of which has been shown to be incorrect or have even been challenged with contradictory evidence from Rep. Omar or any other source. Perjury evidence that stands on its own regardless of whom she married. Long after June 2011, she was clearly in contact with the only man in either the US or UK with the same name and birth date as the man she married. She was clearly in contact with several people who were in contact with him. Further, Preya Samasonder did contact him, published how she managed to contact him, and published his email admitting to be photographed with Omar in London in 2015. To be clear, Omar was legally married to Ahmad Nur Saeed Almi at the time she was photographed next to a man who admits his name is Ahmad Nur Saeed Almi, and that he's in the photo. Samsung published all of this information on how to contact Ahmad Nur Saeed Almi, and a few months before Omar swore to the 9-question court document. Rep. Omar has refused all inquiries from her constituents, elected officials, and media outlets to provide any specific evidence contradicting even a single allegation suggested by 3 years of now public information. In fact, Omar has responded by information less available. In August 2016, after Scott Johnson and Preya Samsonder posted the allegations, Omar verified social media accounts were taken offline. Ahmad Nur Saeed Almi's social media accounts were also taken offline. When the accounts returned, a large amount of potential incriminating evidence had verifiably been deleted. I found and published at least 10 additional before and after instances of evidence still being deleted in 2018. Omar has released carefully worded Clintonian statements that denigrate those seeking answers from her as racist. Yet she has repeatedly refused to answer questions or issue anything other than public relations statements. I have a large amount of information that we have not published for reasons including the protection of sources. Sources have expressed fear regarding published video and photo evidence confirming threats from Omar's campaign team. These sources have shared other evidence of threats. I have contacted the federal authorities to share this and other unpublished information. provided knowingly false information to the DOJ is a serious crime. I believe Scott Johnson, Priya Sam Sundarbar, and me, with our 3 years of articles, columns, and posts, have provided more than enough evidence to give law enforcement authorities probable cause to open an investigation. Now would be the chance for law enforcement, and especially for Rep. Ilhan Omar's House colleagues, to make a sincere stand against corruption and for the uniform application of law. Once again, it should be noted by the American law, when a marriage fraud is discovered, not only might the immigrant face severe immigration consequences, but both members of the married couple may face criminal penalties. An immigrant who is found to have committed marriage fraud would likely be removed from the United States. They'd be deported. So let me know what you think. Do you think Ilhan Omar is going to be deported or locked up, or you think the Democrats gonna pull cover for her and let her get away? Let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. Check out DEMOCREPUBLIX.com for the latest in news. Until next time. We living on a real nightmare. We living on a real nightmare.